Hey everyone, it's Elaine. And I got Sissy right here in the chair next to me. Who's Sissy? Do you see that little square down here in my video? That's Sissy. She's my little long-haired chihuahua. And she is my bestest friend and the cutest little thing ever. Oh, she just warms my heart. Oh, sorry, sidetracked. I want to show you today some samples that I got. Once again, fabric samples. Fabric samples. I could sing a song. They are really different this time. Some bolder prints and not quite as heavy as a lot of the upholstery samples that I got. And then I'm going to ask you to stick around to the end because I have something that I personally have never seen before until I got them the other day with the fabric samples. But I thought they were pretty cool, and I had to have all of them. I couldn't pick. Okay. Now, this little pile I'm going to tell you is just a small assortment of what I got. I picked up about, I know, no less than 500 samples. It was 2 of the big black trash bags, and they still had 2 bags left. So I walked away and said, if you can find someone to take them, please. If not, let me know. Because even though I get excited about getting the fabric samples because it's such cool stuff and the variety, for me and the way I am, it's a lot of work at the same time. And I'm going to explain that to you and you'll understand. All right. So this, my printer's making noise. This first fabric sample now, this is a little bit larger than typical, I have to say. But this is definitely, there's usually 2 sizes that you get. And this is the larger of the 2. Let me get my ruler here. Let's see. All right, I'm going to say we'll call that about 13 by 17, almost 18. All right, now this one I'd like for a couple of reasons. All right, main reason, I like the size, but the main reason right here. This pocket is not glued to the fabric. Hallelujah. Let me sing it again. Hallelujah. I am not kidding. I'm sorry. When these are glued, it is so aggravating to me because I don't really like to cut the fabric. I know that sounds funny, but once you cut it, it starts to fray, and I know I have fray check, but it just does something to it. The other thing about it is this, you can just cut along here. Now, if you're going to use it, do you remember I did that video, I guess it was last year now, where I put some quilts, I'll say the word loosely because I did use these big old pieces of upholstery fabric, but I made quilts for the ladies' shelter in the town where I work. And yeah, it was bulky and everything, but I laundered every one of those pieces before I built those quilts. So I washed every piece. Now, mainly I washed every piece because the corner was glued down in those samples that I got. But I would have washed them anyway because something like that that's going to get washed later. I've also made like seat cushions. Just, for chairs when we're at retreats, a little something under your butt. And some things like that. They're going to get washed because they're going to get spilled on or they're going to get stinky. So, you have to wash them. Well, you don't want, after you've done all that work, all that sewing, putting something together for it to go, shrink up, go. You don't want that. So I wash everything, kind of then pre-shrinking it, and things will shrink up, trust me, before I use it. And yeah, I have to pull out the iron many times. The other thing about these corners, now they do tell you what the material is, so you can also gauge from there what you need to do. Now, there are times when I don't wash it though. like if you're going to use this like as a journal cover or the lining inside of a journal cover, or you're going to make a pocket, for some of the smaller pieces, or you're going to use it just as a page or something like that, no, you don't need to wash it. It's not going to see any water. It's hopefully not going to get wet, so you're fine. And they do feel good this way. But like I said, if it's something that's going to get used and wear and tear, you want to launder all of this first. So these are the bigger pieces, and I just pulled out a couple of them. Like I said, I know no less than 500 samples. All right, so that is that size. I'm going to toss these over here under Sis. And now this kind of looks like it's the same size, but it's not. It's double. All right, it is twice as big. Now, what I have done with this in the past is I have taken both sides, put it together like this, trying to make sure I'm in frame, put it together like this, stitched it on the bottom, stitched on the side, pulled it back to the right side. And then I have purchased webbing for straps, and I've just come in from the outside, doubled it back, done some stitching up here on the webbing through, the strap and through the fabric, and I have made little tote bags. Now, these will be tote bags that no one will have ever seen before. They'll be one-of-a-kinds and originals. Pretty good. That's the only thing at this point in time that I have done with these. But this size fabric, I have found myself beginning to hoard because it is so large. I'm hoping at some point in time that I can use some of this on a bigger journal or on some kind of maybe like a throw pillow. I was thinking about actually throw pillows to go with those quilts for the ladies' shelter, where I could just then it'll be just one piece and I could do some stuffing in it. Make it a little easier on me. But the downfall to this fabric is here it is. These pieces are glued. So I don't want to cut this off. I don't want to cut it. No way, no how. So I'll launder it. And this one is 70% cotton, 30% linen. Probably not supposed to wash it, but I will. I mean, that sounds bad, but what's the worst thing that can happen? It falls apart. It shrinks up so badly. It was free. I'm doing my best to save things from going to the landfill. So, all right. So once in a while I might mess up. But these I really like. So here's another one. I pulled this one to show you because it's kind of watercolor looking to me. All right, so that's that. Now this is the size that most of the samples are that I got this time. So let's see. I'm sure that's probably 13 still. Yep. And then looks to be about 13. So these are pretty much square. Don't really look it, but I guess they are. Downfall. Oh, every one of them, of the 500, it's glued. Oh, I saw that. It just was heartbreaking to me. And now I know you're going to say to me, Elaine, why does that bother you so bad? It bothers me because, no, it's not necessarily labor intensive. It is time consuming. What I do is I gather 30, 40, 50, whatever, and I throw them into the washing machine. When I pull them out, I check each one of them. Hopefully the paper has dissolved. Most of the time it has, but there will be some residue from either the paper or the glue. So I don't throw those in the dryer. I throw them back in the washing machine with some new ones. All right, I keep washing them until I don't see it anymore. Now, I also leave it all intact. Once in a while, the grommets will come out. Not very often. Excuse me. But the reason why I go ahead and wash them is that when I'm working on something, no matter what it is, when I'm ready, I'm ready. I don't want to be digging for a piece of fabric, find the perfect piece of fabric and say, oh, it's got that corner there taped on it or glued on it. I mean, oh, I'm gritting my teeth as I say that, because that would deter me. There's not a doubt about it. So while I have time, fixing supper, whatever, I'll throw a load in and hope for the best. All right. Yeah, sometimes, like I said, I've had to launder things 3, 4, 5, probably even 6 times. Some pieces I just lose count on. But I keep going until this is pretty clean. Now, the quilts that I did for the ladies' shelter, they still did have a little bit of paper on them, or probably more of the glue. Not very much that it was noticeable. And when I sewed them together, it was 6 pieces by 4 pieces. You know, some of this is all kind of, you know, under the head or under the seams. So it wasn't really very much shown. But that's why I wanted to do this video so you could see, though we all get excited at the thought of getting the variety of fabric samples, whether it's upholstery samples or drapery samples or whatever, there's work behind it. If you do it right, there's work behind it. Okay, so this is just a couple of those. I had piles. I just pulled those. Now, on these, I have these come with this. I don't know whether this is really plastic or paper. In the past, it has felt like plastic, but for some reason, these feel like paper. Now, what I do with these is I do not take scissors and cut across here, because again, that is just going to fray. I'm lucky that the corners are not on here. Don't get me wrong, I'm tickled. So I will just sit in front of the TV. Let me turn it around here because I'm right-handed. And I just will take my seam ripper up under there, and it probably doesn't even take a minute to go on down there. And that's where all these threads are coming from. You know, just go down there and rip that off. Now, I'm being bad on these because of this being so thin, I can't really think of much to do with this. I do usually pull off the grommet. I have a literal boatload of grommets, but I don't quite know what to do with this. But it's funny, as I sit here saying this to you, I could probably cut out ATC backings or bases with those. That's exactly what I could do. All right, more hoarding. All right, so anyhow, that is what this is. Now let me measure this. I'm sure it's going to be about the 13. Yep. And let's see here. So 12. So these are about 14 and a half long then. So I like this size. Gives you a little bit more. Like you could do a journal cover with this one piece. That, I mean, that's nice. Look at that. See, that would be a good size. So that, I think this one is very pretty. Look at that. And these are not heavy. Now this one is a little more stout. This is more like upholstery. Kind of reminds me of a rug. And then this one is thin as well. Alrighty. So here is, well, that one, let me back up once here. These are now with that piece removed. Okay. So that's what they kind of look like then. And I know that I do have loose threads, see, that I can pull off. Again, that's just kind of busy work for another day. I was taking and getting all of that plastic or cardboard off of them and kind of getting them out of my way. And again, that is just me doing prep work so that when I am ready to use this piece of fabric, it is ready to go. So here's those. Now this is a sample with a little bit wider. Now, let's see here real quick. This is, I'm sure, 13, yeah. And then this one is about 8 inches. So about 13 by 8. Now, on this, I have actually tried to do something with these. I think the glue that I used was wrong. And that's another video down the road. I've always promised the good, the bad, and the ugly. So even though the thing that I tried did not work, I have kept it. So when I do get successful at what I'm trying to do, I can show you the good, the bad. So anyhow, that is, I didn't get very many of these. But again, it's just a matter of prepping. And here's another one with, you know, with this size. At least, again, they don't have those corners glued down. So now here are some that I have actually taken apart off of those big pieces. I think they're pretty. And like I said, this time I really got a wide variety. Again, have some trimming to do or some thread pulling to do. Look at this. I don't know. So, pretty neat. Now, when I was in the beginning of the video, I told you, stay tuned. I've got something to show you that I have not seen before. Here it is. Hold on, I'm getting it. Alrighty, look at these. Now, I did go ahead and take 2 off, and then I said, ooh, before I do too many, I need to show everybody these. It's all kinds of fringe and tassels and roping. These are samples. And again, they're on the grommets. But one thing about this, I have to tell you, this canvas feels wonderful. It is like soft and pliable. I'm not sure, again, what to do with it necessarily at this point in time. But once I pop all of these off, I'm going to launder these and see if this writing dissolves. If it's, I'm hoping that it's not on with any kind of something permanent. And if it is, it is. We're going to use this. I don't know. I was just amazed, and I thought maybe you all would be too to see these. Now, I am going to do a flip through of all these just to give you an idea of the assortment. But as you can see, they're on with just one single stitch. Now, yeah, the ends have been back stitched, so that, you know, take a little second there to get them off. But isn't it cool to see how the fringe samples and all can come as well? I've been given these kind of samples in the past, but they've never been on anything like this. So stay here with me now for a second. I'm just going to take these off, and I'm just going to drop them on the floor. Look at these tassels. Pretty cool. Tassels, I guess depends on where you're from. Looky. I like it. Now that almost looks kind of like what I was talking about, the webbing for the tote bags. Oh, look at that. Yeah, they put like masking tape on it, I guess, to keep it from fraying. Good tip. Masking tape. All right. Oh, look at this. As you can tell, I haven't gone through these. That is so funny. I'm not quite sure what I would do with that. It kind of reminds me of a beard. But anyway, kind of Christmas colors. But the only thing about it is these are all just one-of-a-kind pieces. I don't have, you know, a bunch of the same thing. But I like them. I thought this was fun when I dug in the bag and I saw these. I said, oh, I have to have these. And some of them have some shimmer to them. The threads are like silvery with some shine. Pretty neat. And I guess I never really thought that there was so much assortment. All right, that says eyelash. This is an eyelash skirt, and I guess what they've done is they've stitched across here to kind of hold it all together. Okay, well, we're not going to mess with the other one or the bottom of that one. Here's just some, oh, that's pretty now, isn't it? That roping. Great detail. All righty, here's some more of those. I don't know. This is just interesting to me to see this stuff that's out there. And I want to tell you, you know, every town, big town, I would imagine, has some kind of furniture store that perhaps will special order furniture for you, and they have samples. Go in and ask them what they do with them. Don't let them throw them away. For the most part, what I have been told is the manufacturers don't want this back. Okay? Yeah, they probably are going to keep a sample of everything that they've ever done, but they don't want all of this back. They don't want to carry it around. They don't want someone to come and get it. They're not going to pay for the postage to get it back. The folks in the stores are throwing the stuff away. I promise you. That's what everyone has said to me. Oh, I would just throw those away. Well, don't. And if you go in and ask them and you get a knucklehead that tells you no, don't give up. Find out if that knucklehead owns that business or why they're saying no. You know, maybe they already have someone they give it to. That you can understand. But just to throw it away for the sake of throwing it away, you know, get to the bottom of it. Or go to another store and ask. You never know. Anybody too that like does alterations, a lot of alterations, like a bridal store, go to them. Ask them for the pieces that they cut off. You know, don't, you know, this stuff we need to save it out of the landfill and do something fun and productive with it. Do you believe I still am going here? And I mean that too. I luck out. And what will happen to you is that, yeah, you may get a reputation of, oh, give it to Elaine or call Elaine. I bet you she can think of something to do with it. So we'll get to the point where you don't really have to go out anymore and look for stuff. People will bring stuff to you. People really don't want to throw things away. Now, they get an overabundance of it, or you don't keep your word and go on and go get it, and you make them hold on to it and hold on to it, they're not going to play with you anymore. So if someone tells you they have something for you, go get it. Don't make them hold on to it. They're not your storage bin. So if you ask somebody for something, they say, I'll call you, go. All right? That's my lesson for today. Anyway, this is my last one here. Oh, not very exciting, is it? But I hope you enjoyed that. It was fun for me. And again, I have so much. I brought it all home and I put it in stacks according to what it was. And I'm slowly but surely getting through the ones that have, you know, the cardboardy plastic piece on them. And I'll get it all sorted out. And then I'm going to start cranking up that washing machine, get those corners off. So I appreciate you all coming by and listening to me ramble about my fabric samples. But I appreciate it, and I will catch you all down the road. And hey, listen, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate a thumbs up too. And I will see y'all later. You behave. Bye.